Hi, my name's Anna and this is where I share my making, predominantly knitting, but also crochet, sewing, whatever else takes my fancy. Thank you for watching if you've seen any of my previous videos, and hello if you're new. I think a few of you have found me through Instagram recently, which is lovely. I hope you enjoy these little updates. So today I'm going to be chatting through the project bags that I've launched in the last few days, or launched online anyway, and also what I've been knitting on, and a little bit about our trip up to Edinburgh for Woolly Good Gathering. Right then, let's jump straight in with these. So over the last year or so, I have been doing a lot more sewing. I learnt to sew when I was quite little. My grandma taught me. She was a prolific quilter and very talented, and she started me sewing. She actually taught me on this machine here, which she then gave to me, and it's what I have used for all my sewing since. It's a very simple machine. It just does straight and zigzag, but it's a real workhorse, so it's lovely to have her with me in a way when I've been doing all my sewing. But in the last year I moved, and ended up moving very near a lovely little fabric shop. It is small but ram-packed, so it's got lots of little rooms all filled to the rafters with mainly quilting cottons, and so I'd pop in there, pick up a few that I like the patterns of, and just see what I could make. I've done some self-drafted patterns, I followed some patterns to improve skills and learn new techniques, and that has all culminated in me making these project bags. So this is the smaller size. There's I've called them littler and bigger. So this is this one. I have 4 different designs. This one is called the Meadow. So it's got this really fun, sort of relaxed flower meadow on the front. I particularly like the little poppy seed heads that are dotted throughout. And then I've paired that with a really bold stripe. And the lining on this one is great fun. This is full of tomatoes. And then I have gone for a pink drawstring, and all the bags are quilted, so you'll see that they hold their shape really nicely, and they also have a flat base, so they will just quite happily sit next to you whilst you're knitting. They open up nice and wide, so you can have your yarn coming out, or you can pull it tighter if you prefer. Keep everything safe. And all of the quilting is done in a thread that matches the drawstrings, just to tie it all together. So that design is called the Meadow. Then there are 3 others. So this one here is called the Painter, for hopefully obvious reasons. The main fabric on this one has got these lovely paint marks. They sort of remind me of like an artist's apron, if they're just sort of wiping their brush off as they go along. And that's got this golden stripe around the top and a really rich teal lining. And then just to pull out some of the colours in the fabric, I went for a lilac drawstring. And all the materials for these are cotton, apart from the wadding, like the quilting, what am I trying to say? The wadding in between the outer and the inner, which is a bamboo cotton mix. So all natural materials. The next design I have to show you is the Inkwell. So this one is named because of the ruffle fabric around the top, which is this black and white splatter, which I love. And then I've contrasted that with this really bold gingham, so it's quite an oversized gingham print. And I really like the contrast of the geometric and the more fluid shapes at the top. And then I thought this one would be good for anyone who likes things a little bit more neutral, but I love a pop of colour. So the lining on this one is this yellow, which is sort of like giant brush strokes. Hopefully, if I take this project out of it, you'll be able to see a bit better. I hope these are showing up okay. So that's that one. And then to give you an idea of what they hold, in here I had my DPNs, 2 minis. So these are, I think these are 25 gram minis. So I've got a neon pink, neon yellow. This yarn is all from Botanical Yarns. This was a sock set she did for, I think it was a birthday. So I think this one's called Birthday Cake or Birthday Sprinkles. I might have got that entirely wrong, but it's got those wonderful neon speckles going throughout. And then this is the sock I have been making. It is, if I've got this wrong, I'll write it on the screen, but it is Oak by Vera Valimaki. So it's got these fun stripes at the top, a really nice heel, and then what have we got here? 3x1 rib on the foot, and then there are stripes that go across the toe as well, so they will be bright pink. But that all fits in. So you've got 150 grams of yarn and part of a project, and that is sort of half full. So these littler ones are great for hats, socks, little kerchiefs, that sort of size project. And then the last design in the collection is called the Picnic, which is this teal gingham with a sort of salmony wave at the top. And then I've picked that out in the stitching and the drawstring. And the inside of this one is a really lovely floral design, which just picks up all those colours. So let me know if you have a favourite. They are now online. I will put a link below, or if you follow me on Instagram, you can click through from my profile there. And at time of recording, there are still a few of each left, but I do only have quite limited amounts. It's something new for me, so I just bought a set amount of fabric, and once that's gone, it's gone, because some of these prints are limited edition, so I won't be able to get any more. But I will of course be making more designs in the future. But if you like any of these, do go have a look. There's a bit more information about dimensions and a few more photos and things there. And if you have any questions, let me know. But I took those up to Edinburgh for Willie Good. You may know by now that my boyfriend Johnny is the co-owner of Garthenor, so I help out at all the shows with them. And they very kindly let me put the bags on the stand for Willie Good. So that was where they had their first outing into the world, which was a bit nerve-wracking, but I got so much lovely feedback. So if anyone had a look at them or had anything nice to say about them at the show, thank you so much. It was a real confidence boost. And then I had to remake this one after this design in particular completely sold out at the show. So I restocked that one and then put them all online on Saturday morning. They have been ordered, which is wonderful. I can't quite believe it. Many moons ago I was a weaver, and I used to do so many markets and sell nothing, and it can be quite demoralising, and so to have had such a positive reaction has been really, really lovely. And it's so nice that something that I love making and designing seems to be something that people enjoy as well. So thank you so much for all the support and encouragement and messages. It's been genuinely really cheered me up, so thank you so much. Having mentioned Willie Good Gathering, I guess we'll go on to talk about that next. That was the show guide. It's a yarn festival held up in Edinburgh, and this is its second year, and the event was in Central Hall, which was right in the middle of town. We had a lovely bus ride in past the castle, and it was held over 2 floors of the space. There was a big auditorium, and then the next floor up, there's a big auditorium and another room on the ground floor, and then on the second floor there was the sort of mezzanine seating area for everyone to hang out, but it was really nice because it overlooked the marketplace, so it felt like you were still part of the event and had a really nice atmosphere. And then there were also another 2 rooms of marketplace upstairs, as well as an amazing rail of knitwear and crochet designs, so you could try things on, get some design inspiration, and I thought that was a really nice touch. I took lots of pictures of garments and accessories from the rails, and I will be working out future projects from that for sure. So I was there with Garthenor. We were in a room with the Berlin Yarn Company and Uisjan. So we had a lovely time, the three of us. The space was lovely. It did get quite warm. It was so sunny that weekend, and I think everyone had dressed ready to show off their knitwear at the show, and it wasn't really knitwear weather. I was wearing one of my Garthenor cardigans, and it didn't stay on for that long because I did overheat. But it was a really lovely show. I have no footage, I'm afraid. I didn't get around to taking any, but I'm sure you've seen it on Instagram and other people's videos. I had a really lovely weekend. They'd staggered the ticket entry, so people came in at different time slots, which meant that there was a sort of steady flow of people working their way around the spaces, which was much nicer for us as vendors, didn't feel too overwhelming. And also to shop, it's so much nicer if you don't want to be sort of unable to get to yarn to feel it, or just walk into a room and it be too crowded. So that didn't happen at all, which was really lovely. Yeah, it was a great weekend. We stayed with some family nearby, which was really lovely as well. It meant it was all very relaxed. And as always, I did do a little bit of shopping. I will show you what I got. I'm very aware that my last few videos have been very yarn show shopping heavy. This is not the norm. I do have a break from yarn shows for a few weeks, so that will calm down and I can get back to showing you what I've actually been making, because I will have a bit more time to use all of the things that I have been purchasing. The first thing I got was actually a present from Johnny. So there was a lovely designer there called Lindsay Walters, and she works with felt predominantly, making jewellery and accessories. And he got me this lovely, sorry, it's on my jacket and I spent forever getting it in the right place, so I don't really want to unpin it. But this lovely pin, which if you can't tell is a puffin. And I love puffins to the extent where one of my birthday presents last year was a boat trip to Skoma Island, which is just off the west coast of Wales, where lots of puffins, there's a breeding colony of puffins there. And that is booked in for this summer. They get so booked up, I missed it last year. So we will be going there in June, and I will be wearing my puffin brooch for the trip. I'm very excited about that. He very kindly got me that. And then we did also, we're a bit of a sucker for tote bags. We have way too many, but I just really like the design of this one. So the colours and the font, and yeah. You can't have too many tote bags, can you? Maybe. So this was the show tote bag. And then also from Lindsay Walters, I got myself this badge, which is an orange. I love a pop of orange in any form. And I saw Claire, who I know from yarn shows over the years, she was visiting and she was wearing one of these and it looked really cool. So I blame her for this purchase. It was really lovely. I saw the designer of these put a post up afterwards saying it was so nice that because everyone at the show were makers, they really valued the time and effort that would have gone into her jewellery. I think at some shows you always get people querying prices and all that kind of thing, and I think she was just saying it was really lovely to just have her work really appreciated and understood, because everyone there makes things and knows the time and effort that goes into it. So yeah, that was really lovely to hear from her afterwards. And then I got 1, 2, 3 things and a couple of gifts from Johnny. So first thing I got was from Toft. So I went over to see Emma and Tash at the Toft stand, and I will have to insert a picture of what I'm going to make because they have emailed me the pattern and that is on my phone, which I'm recording on. So I'll show you the colours. So I've got a few of the white, but it's these 3 colours in the Toft DK. So this is cream, blue and hyacinth. And then I've got a little bit of black thread as well to do the eyes. I meant to cast this on this weekend, Easter weekend, but I haven't got around to it. So maybe this evening I will do that. but it's from their spring collection, which is all inspired by sort of traditional blue and white china. And so it's a sort of traditional toft animal, but then with this beautiful blue embroidery on the top. So I'm looking forward to making that. I think the rabbit itself will be quite straightforward, but I'm intrigued to have a go at the embroidery and see if I can get that as neat as their pictures. That was on my list. And then the other thing that I'd seen ahead of time, I was sort of going through all the vendors and looking them up, was from a business called Love, Live, Give Art. So it's in this lovely linen, or it will be a linen bag. So this one is cotton, I think, this outer one. So, oh dear, it's got a bit squashed in my travels. But it's an embroidery kit to make this lovely design. So I was speaking to the lady, I think Rika, sorry if I've mispronounced that, and she had ready-made items that she'd hand embroidered, as well as these kits in several different designs, and also some sort of smaller embroidery patches. So it's really lovely because you got to pick the colour of the bag. So I went for this beautiful sort of soft blue linen. She also had a cotton option as well, and then lots of different coloured linens. In the kit, as well as the linen, you get the hoop, you get the transfer of the design, so you can put this on the fabric, stitch into it, and then wash it away at the end. She also gives you carbon paper, so if you want to copy the design over and then be able to reuse it on other things, you can. Got the cord for when you sew it up into a drawstring bag at the end, and then these beautiful threads. I just really like the colours of these, and a little needle attached there as well. So I'm looking forward to doing that. I haven't done very much sort of freehand embroidery, as it were. I've done quite a lot of cross stitch. So I'm looking forward to doing that. It also felt like a very portable project, given how much we're travelling around at the moment. So yeah, and also just a bit of a break from for my hands from knitting. That was a lovely kit. I will try and put a link to all of these things down below if you want to have a look. And then the last thing that I bought was from Jameson's. So I got to almost the end of the second day, so the last day of the show, and realised I hadn't bought any Scottish yarn, so popped over to Jameson's and I picked up some of their Shetland Spindrift. So this is 25 grams, 105 metres, so 4-ply, 100% pure Shetland. So they have this amazing colour wall, and I tried to opt for sort of the more heathered variants because I think that's sort of what they're known for. So I got this colour, which is called Sunglow. So it's a pink, but it's got sort of oranges and yellows running through it. This one, which is called Flame, again similar vibe but darker. And then I got Eggshell, so really soft blue. Okay, the name's cut off on this one. It's colour 240, Yell Sound BL something. I'm guessing blue. So it's blue, but it's got sort of straw colour, yellows and various shades of blue running through it. And then finally I got gold, colour 289. And those are going to become a pig. So I have this lovely book by Cynthia Valley, I think is her name, yeah, Cynthia Valley. It's published by Lina, and or Lane, I'm never quite sure how you say it. And it's called Moosh and Friends. You've probably seen it, and it's for these beautiful characters. So I have already made Henri, the orangutan. I did this one in John Arbon. Let me see, I think they're on just behind me here. Yeah, in their Harvest Hues, which I think worked really well in that they're not flat colours. So you've got all those different shades running through, which I think works really well for the animals. Yes, so I've made Omri. I do need to make him some clothes at some point, but all in good time. I was trying to think of a sort of slightly smaller project that I could use some Scottish yarn for, and I remembered this book, and then so I had a look on Ravelry whilst I was there and decided that I wanted to make the pig next. I'm going to do him with this outfit. There are a few different options, so I'm going to use this lighter pink for the mane. I should have enough just, but if I don't, I thought I could always do his ears or his trotters in this darker colour. And then these other three, so the gold and the two blues, I'm going to use for his outfit. So I think his jumper will be, I'm not quite sure yet. I think his jumper might be the gold colour, and then the sort of check trousers in the two blues, but I'll have a little play around and see what I think. So that's what they are going to become. That is everything that I bought at the Woollygood gathering. However, Johnny went on a few walks and, oh, actually I forgot this. Sorry, just have to rewind a moment. With the embroidery kit, very kindly, quite a lot of vendors will do discounts for other vendors. It's sort of like a reciprocal thing that just happens. It's very lovely. Not everyone does it, you don't have to, of course. But what she decided to do instead was give a little extra embroidery kit to other vendors. So I've got this beautiful lavender patch. So this here is the transfer, so I'll stick that on to a bag or a shirt, or I wondered about putting it on like the back of a baseball hat or something, I'm not quite sure. So you stick it on, stitch over it with these threads, and then wash away the fabric, and then you're just left with the embroidery. So that was really kind of her to give me that. And then back to Johnny and his wandering. He went over to the TJ Frog stand and was having a chat with them, and they are known for Dorset buttons, and she was saying that normally their most popular item is the kits because people want to have a go and make themselves, but at this show the stitch markers have been really popular, so he went to have a look and he saw this colour, and it's a very me colour, so he got these for me. I hope you can see them, if not I'll overlay a better close-up, but they're these beautiful Dorset buttons as little stitch markers in a great neon yellow. So that was very kind of him. And then you'll get a theme here that I like a zingy yellow. So he also on the second day popped over to see Jules at Woollen Flower, and he said he was sort of looking at the yarn as they were chatting, and he picked this one up, and once the conversation had ended, didn't really want to put it back, so he bought this home. Well, he bought it and we bought it home. So this is dyed with Weld, and it's a fingering weight, 400 meters, 100 grams, and it is a blend of Exmoor Blueface and the one I can't pronounce, Zwarbles, Zwarbles, maybe, from so it's spun by John Arbon, and then Jules naturally dyes them at Woollen Flower. She's based over in Glasgow, so that was a real lovely treat. I really love this colour, I think it's fab. So that was everything that came home with us from the show. I'll have some more tea. I've had a cold for like 2 weeks and it won't go away, so I get a bit scratchy throated every now and again. You didn't need to know that, I'm just explaining why I'm drinking tea mid-recording. So we packed up the show on the Saturday, and then on the Sunday we decided to go back into the city and pay a visit to Ginger Twist, which is a lovely yarn shop in Edinburgh. I have known of them for a long time because when I worked at a yarn story quite a while ago now, we did the I Knit 7 group. So it's a group of 7 shops, and they all sort of teamed up on I think we did like pattern kits, and we also did a yarn passport, so if you went to all 7 shops you could stamp in each, and that kind of thing. but I'd never made it to Jess's shop, so it was really lovely to go have a look. She also stocks Garthenor, and so Johnny was excited to go see that on the shelves, and he also picked up some really lovely fabric there. Really beautiful shops, wall of yarn, and then sort of all lots of lovely notions and books and things in the middle, and then the other side of the shop is a huge wall of all Jess's hand dyed, and she does some incredible colours, so if you're ever nearby it's definitely worth popping in. And then there's also a room at the back which has lots of fabric and patterns, and again more lovely samples which just make you want to make everything. So from Jess I picked up a little pin badge, so this little cat with a ball of yarn and some knitting needles, and then from there I, as always, wasn't planning on buying anything, but did. So I came away with this little 50-gram ball in this amazing colour. The colour name is Scarlet, but it's not really red. But anyway, it's a sort of corally orange, which I love. And it's from Orkney Angora. It's their St Magnus DK, which is 50% Angora, 50% lamb's wool, hand dyed in the Orkney Islands. So I'm going to make a little, probably a Sophie scarf, but like a little neckerchief thing, and the jacket that my puffin is on goes really well with this colour. So I'm looking forward to that. This might be my next cast on actually. I feel like I want something quick because I will show you what I'm working on at the moment. This is the main project that I've been knitting on. And you will see it's quite a lot of knitting, and it's taking me a little while to get done. So I think I will be ready for a little short, sharp project once this is finished. I have so many needles and bits of yarn on hold that it's a bit of a mess. So this is what we have so far. It is going to be The Long Weekend by Erica Knight, which is part of the collaboration she did with A Yarn Story and Walcott Yarns. So this is knit in Origin, in the colour Juniper, which this is a worsted weight yarn. So you can see it's got this lovely detailing. This needs a bit of blocking out, but lovely detailing here. And then the sleeves are amazing. So I haven't finished the rib because I ran out of yarn. I need to wind another ball up. But it's got these beautiful big balloon sleeves, and then this is going to really cinch in with the rib. And so I've done this. I just need to add a bit more rib on that sleeve. The other sleeve, I have finished all the decreases. Again, I now just need to add the rib. Then I think I'm going to add the collar next. So it's got like a big folded collar, and then I just can whiz around. The body's plain stockinette, so I'm hoping that will go quite quickly. I am enjoying it. I love the design, and I did try it on and it's fitting really, really well. It's a lot of stockinette knitting, which sometimes I'm really in the mood for, sometimes gets a little bit tedious, but I think I'm going to wear this so much when it's finished, so I am ploughing on. I also have a slight deadline because I am helping Walcott Yarns at the Big Flock in Bristol, which is I think middle of May, and so I will need this for that show. However, I'm now thinking that middle of May I'm probably not going to want to wear a worsted weight jumper, but I might have to sort of wrap it around my shoulders or something rather than wear it properly. We'll see. You never know with the British weather. It might be cold and miserable, and then I'll be very glad of the jumper. So that is pretty much all I've been knitting on. I did actually get the sleeves done. I did one on the drive up to Scotland and one on the drive back. However, I had to go back and make them longer, which is a bit annoying because I had to rip out all the shaping. So yeah, back, add a bit of length and then finish them. So I've caught back up to where I was, but I might put that aside for this evening and either start the Sophie scarf or the Toft bunny. We'll see what takes my fancy. I think that is everything. If you'd like to have a look at the bags, please do, and if you have any comments or feedback, let me know. I will be bringing whatever I have left to Wonderwool in Wales next weekend. I will again be there with Garthenor, which I'm looking forward to. I haven't actually been to Wonderwool before, so I went well, that's a lie. I did go last year, but I went for 5 minutes. So when I'm not helping Garthenor, my actual job is as a wedding florist. And so I had a wedding the same weekend as Wonderwall last year, and I cleared that up. It was over in the Cotswolds. I cleared that up on the Sunday, drove from there over to the showground where Wonderwall Wales is held, and had about 5 minutes to sprint round. So I sort of like found a few people I knew, said hello, bought a very nice skein from Amy and Flory, which is what I made my machine knit socks in, and then just helped clear up the Garthenor stand. So I don't think I've really experienced Wonderwall fully. I'm looking forward to going and having a look around all the animals that will be there, as well as the yarn. If you're going to be there, come say hello, and otherwise I will see you for another video next week, possibly next week or the week after. I don't want to make any promises. I hope you all had a lovely Easter weekend, and happy making. Bye.